god, it's on Goodreads. Holy shit.
Okay, it isn't what you think. I'm so into this.
New year, new me, we're gonna read fanfic. This is not gonna become a thing. I can guarantee you this is not going to become a thing. I have never, even when I was deep in fandoms that had a strong fanfiction community, I have never been a fanfiction girly. This is a one and done. I am just so intrigued by this one particular story. You're gonna come along for the ride with me, okay? Let's dive in. Let me set the scene for you a little bit. So one of my dear friends who has the most eclectic taste, oh, also I just got back from, I like sped walked home and it's a blustery winter day. So if I look a mess, I am a mess. Okay, I have a friend who has an incredibly eclectic taste in books. She will read classics and then turn around and she will read fanfic. And she posted one recently and I was like, first of all, the cover is like low-key beautiful. And so I was like, tell me more. And so grandma learned how to go on AO3 and download the PDF to put it on my Kindle. I did the thing, like I did it. Here I am, and here we are. It is on my Kindle. I need to figure out how to, I'm gonna change the font size and everything, but I am reading Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love. Look at that cover though. Okay, so we are not acknowledging the original piece of work, but I will be engaging with fan-made work, and I just kind of need to read this. So I don't know anything about it. I had another friend one day deeply explain AO3 to me. I understand it, I appreciate it, it's just not my thing. So I didn't even like look up, oh my god, it's on Goodreads? Holy shit. I don't even understand like how many pages in it. Does it counts by words, so I don't know what that means. How long will I be reading this? This is on AO3, which is Archive of Our Own. It is Draco Malfoy and the Mortifying Ordeal of Being in Love by Is This Self-Care? Some of the tags that we have: reckless overuse of the author's favorite tropes, oblivious idiots, late stage pining. What is pining if not denial persevering? No first names, we die like men. Do not look too closely at the plot, you will only hurt yourself. Scandalous ankle touching, misuse of whirlpool baths, oh no. Graphic depictions of competent women. Crookshanks will fight God or become him. What about human on mushroom violence? Nuns. Tell me that that is not the perfect book, okay? So it says, Hermione straddles the muggle and magical worlds as a medical researcher and healer about to make a big discovery. Draco is an Auror assigned to protect her from forces unknown to both of their displeasure. Features hyper-competent, fiery Hermione and lazy yet dangerous Draco Slowburn. 199,548 words, 36 chapters. It has like 50,000 kudos, over 2 million hits. And like I said, it has a Goodreads. And on Goodreads, it has over 12,000 ratings, 4.57 stars. Does this give, oh no, the author is still Is This Self-Care? That's amazing. Oh, I guess Goodreads has fanfic on it. Like that's a normal thing. Oh, so as you can see, this is not my world. Okay, we're scrolling away. We're scrolling away. I'm gonna start it. So as I said, I need to change the formatting because look at that. So I need to figure out how to make my text bigger. Speaking of formatting, while Carrie in the past struggles with her Kindle, I would like to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. I have used Squarespace myself personally for almost 5 years, probably more than that. They are a wonderful place to host any kind of online presence, whether that is a blog or a shop. They have incredibly easy free templates that you can use to make your website look wonderful. They have a great analytics section to help you understand what your audience is looking for. They have email subscription lists, really whatever you want to do online. It's so easy. So if you want, you can go to squarespace.com right now and play around with all the tools and set up your website for free. And then when you're ready to launch it to the public, you can go to squarespace.com/caricanread and get 10% off of your first website or domain. I will leave my website down below so you can take a look as well. But yeah, thank you so much to Squarespace as always. And let's go check on the struggle bus that is my past self. Oh my God, I can't shut up. Okay, am I gonna just go blind? No. Guys, it's 576, almost 600 pages, but the font is this big. I'm just gonna do it. Or should I try and read it? Here, let me look at my iPad that probably isn't charged. Let's see if I can do something about it here. Yeah, like look at. Don't you just want to pick that up and read it? So it's not much better on here. I can kind of zoom it. Yeah, okay. We're reading it on the iPad because no way in hell. No. So I'm gonna charge this for a sec and we're going to begin, but shall we start with just the first line? I have no idea. All I know is that my friend said it was a fun time, a romp. As a man of means, Draco Malfoy could have chosen to live a life of leisure, political meddling, and casual blackmail like his father before him. However, his acquittal by the Wizengamot was accompanied by strong recommendations that young Mr. Malfoy strive for such laudable pursuits as the common good, altruism, and redemption in the public eye. So after a few years of sowing his wild oats, and many great curses, on the continent, Draco has returned to London, where he made short work of the Auror training program, 3 years down in 1.5, if you please, and joined that noble office. Draco had been strategic in his choice of career path, of course. Being an Auror offered just enough heroics for positive coverage in the news and just enough ministry-sanctioned murders to keep him interested in the job. And so, our opening scene. A Monday morning, sometime in January. It's a Monday morning in January, guys. I was looking for my phone. You're right there. Sound the alarm. It is Monday, January 8th. I have chills. Fate. Kismet. Okay, so excuse me. A Monday morning, sometime in January, amidst the graying cubicles of the Auror office, Tonks was doling out the month's Class A assignments to her top Aurors like a vindictive Father Christmas. It continues from there. I'm in. Oops. Uh-oh. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I am so excited. And here we go. Okay, so Malfoy gets to pick what case he has out of the remaining cases because he was a good boy on the last case. And his options are: option 1, a wizard accused of inappropriate acts with trolls, a real delight for the senses, that one. Or option 2, a request from the minister for Auror protection of a high-profile target. Inappropriate acts? Repeated Draco, pulling the folders towards himself. Draco made the mistake of opening the troll folder. He closed it again with a strangled sound of disgust. I'll take the protection assignment.
Yeah. I'm so into this.
Okay, the reason Hermione needs protection is because she's been doing research and she had some scientific breakthrough that she still needs to test, but the Minister of Magic thinks that people aren't going to be happy about it because it affects a certain part of the population. And I think it's either going to be that she can give magic to other people, like to muggles. So she's either going to erase muggles or she's going to do something house elfy. But I'm only on page 3, so who knows? But I just wanted to put that out there as my guess. Yeah, that's my guess.
Okay, I don't know. I withdraw my statements. I don't know what Hermione has cooked up. We'll have to see. Okay, thank heavens there is artwork. So the 576 pages of small text is slightly less. But it's good so far. I can't even tell you how far along I am. Oh, 3%. It's good. Okay, it isn't what you think. Yes, I have encountered the word mate and I panicked, but it's just that like he's trying to use a tracking ring on her so that he doesn't have to be around her all the time, and it will like notify him if she feels stressed or panicked or whatever. But he has to wear the matching ring, and it technically was like they are a pair of wedding rings, but he has like made it very clear that it is not that. But yeah, the panic that shot through my veins seeing that. So basically, I feel like you could read this without having any background knowledge of the original series that shall not be named, but it does give you like lovely little bits of character that like character background, but just this a disjointed ginger muppet. Uh-oh, Draco. Uh-oh. Hi everyone, I have moved. 12% update. It's really good, guys. Like, I'm enjoying this thoroughly. This also just includes a lot of locations of like mythical, well, I suppose just myths in the UK. And it comes with photos of the places, and I just think it adds a little something to the story. And I'm so, guys, I'm reading slowly because I just paused for work, so I'm only 15% of the way through, but I am totally committed to this. It's very much just like, well, hold on, I can talk to you this way. It's very much just like the kind of grumpy, well, it's not Grumpy and Sunshine, but it's very much like a bodyguard trope. They're both just so perplexed by each other, and I just think it's great. This is self-care. Is this self-care? Hats off to you. Like, it's just a good story. We continue. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Good morning. We are continuing our quest to finish this book. I am 41% of the way through. It is snowing so hard today, so we are not going outside. So yeah, I stopped at 41%, which according to my iPad, I am on page 239 of 585. And I stopped when I got the note that says, it starts with a chapter note, and it does start with, "This fic is not for the short or medium term gratification seekers, but rather for the masochists who like to suffer. If that's you, then please read on and let us suffer together." So I feel like the energy, the pacing is still good, but there are definitely many scenes in this where I was sort of getting bored, where I was sort of like, let's cut to the chase, because there has been nothing. There was even like a potential for a only one bed trope, but then Hermione's really good at transfiguration, so she just like whips up a bed. You know, so yeah, this is definitely slow burn. I do think that like some of their banter is like, the humor is not 100% my style, but like I still think it's funny, and I still stand by the fact that like this could be reworked so easily to not have any connection to the book that we are not talking about. You know, the world within that book is not necessarily revolutionary in any sense, so I think that with just like a few word changes, like this could truly be its own magical world, and we understand the characters so easily that I love it. I love that Harry and Ron are just dumbasses. Like, just let it be known. Like, we know that Hermione is like the HBIC, and I love it for her. I love that she is just like like so much of it is just her being really intelligent and like so competent in her work, and Draco just watching her being like, damn it, yeah, she is really smart and really impressive, and I love that. So I'm having a jolly good time. I do think like trying to read it like a traditional work where I would just read it in one go, it is a little much, because I do think it is like drawing it out so much. But I understand if you are maybe reading this chapter by chapter, or you're more used to having that kind of fanfic style where it does get long-winded because you just want to be reading stuff in this world. I
I get it. Like I said, it's not, I've read worse in like traditionally published work in terms of pacing and drawing out the plot, and they're doing it intentionally. Like the writer knows what they're doing. So anyway, I'm going to dive in and continue. I might finish it maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Let's go back.
Crookshanks killing Ron. Just a note on like the writing style. I love this writing style when it's consistent, like capitalizing nouns. I just love. I'm enjoying this so thoroughly. I know I've said it a million times, but I'm having such a great time. Like, they're just such idiots. They're so stupid. We just learned what she's working on to cure, and it's a good one. It's a good one, Hermione. Okay, I'm at 67% and I'm only stopping. I have 10 chapters left. I'm only stopping because I'm going to have to go to a class in about an hour, and I feel like I want to read the last 30% all in one go if I can. So what has happened? It's been very slow burn, but like I said, we found out what Hermione is working on, her cure, which I think is really clever and really good. But as expected, the whole reason why Draco is even watching her, it finally happened that the baddies, the bad guys, have caught wind of what she's trying to do and want to stop her. So Draco had to rescue her as these bad guys were trying to get into her laboratory, and everyone has decided that now she needs 24/7 supervision, and so she has moved into the one place on Earth where no one would expect her to be, which is Malfoy's house. And so we're just dealing with that. And it's been good. Like I said, it's been quite slow. I think that for me, just the back and forth, like there are just pages of dialogue and they're just like quips back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I feel like I could have had a little bit less of that, but I was warned that this would be a very long drawn out thing. It's just extremely dialogue heavy. So, but yeah, I'll catch up with you later. I'm gonna go get my body broken with my first Pilates class in like a month and a half. Okay, bye. Guys, we are 75% of the way through and it's happening. I'm gonna talk to myself for a second, ignore me. I have to talk to you guys tomorrow. It's very late, but I finished it. And I thought the second to last chapter could have been skipped. There was a warning for the non-smutty people that I could have skipped it, and that was the longest smut scene I've ever read in my entire life. And I wish I had that time back, to be honest, but I'll talk to you tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So let's chat. Your girl has read a fanfic. And I had a great time, honestly. So overall, the story, I thought that it was really good until until we got to them getting together and it became very smutty. Wasn't my cup of tea whatsoever. But I thought that actually like it had a good plot. I think, like I've said a couple times in this video, it could be reworked just a teeny bit and it could stand fully on its own as its own like little fantasy romance. I do think that like for some reason it's the Raylos that we've seen make so many jumps to like the traditionally published world where you kind of have to squint, sometimes you don't, to see where the kind of inspirational material comes from. But yeah, this one was just cute. It was just this typical like bodyguard kind of forced proximity roommate stuff going on that just
worked, and I just really appreciated the focus on like Draco is so obsessed with Hermione's brain and her butt, but like specifically her brain. And I liked the freedom that fanfiction seems to have with humor and being a little bit less concerned with the plot. So like we had an author's note, a chapter note that literally said like ignore the plot holes. Like just a warning, there's going to be a ton of plot holes, and like that's okay, because readers, especially I think readers of fan fiction where you are searching so specifically for a piece of work to scratch a specific itch, you will read anything as long as it kind of gives you scenarios, and it doesn't really matter if there are plot holes. So I appreciated that kind of freedom to it. And I do think the humor in this wasn't so much for me, but I kind of appreciated that like I don't typically read that anymore. Like I usually only hear this kind of humor when I'm watching like funny vloggers talk, or like funny booktubers talk about books. So it was kind of refreshing to just see it on the page. Like there was definitely, I have to stop Slack. I'm getting, okay. Apologies to anyone who has trauma related to the Slack notification sound. There was specifically one scene where like Malfoy has to kind of relieve himself. He jacks off in his room. There was a sentence that was like, millions of potential Malfoy heirs were spilled on the floor or something. And I was just like, what? Things like that. I feel like I wouldn't have normally read that, but I would have maybe in like a retelling done by a booktuber have maybe heard that. So it was just like, I don't know, weird to call that refreshing, but yeah, it just felt a little more free, a little more fun. Like it was kind of, the writer knew that the people they were writing for just wanted what they wanted, you know, and they delivered. And I don't know, I just loved it. I will say though that like the smut was not for me. So I think that for a lot of people, that's like the payoff. And so the book kind of ends with just a lot of smut scenes. And so I was kind of like, is this how the book's gonna end? But luckily there is like an end chapter plus an epilogue that gives us like the lovey-dovey stuff that I appreciated. So overall, am I a fanfiction girly? No. Do I appreciate it and understand it a little bit more? Yes. I think that even just the chapter notes were so funny. So yeah, I fully get it. I just don't know if it's really for me. I have too many other things to be reading. But it was not a waste of my time. A couple of those chapters were, but most of it wasn't. So yeah, I had a good time. It definitely was. Like my friend said, she promised me a romp. It was a romp. That was Draco Malfoy and the mortifying ordeal of being in love. I just really loved the Potter and Weasley slander. Like they're just so dumb. Hermione deserves so much better. And yeah, I completely approve of the Draco Hermione pairing. My camera just fell. That was almost a disaster. So I'm going to hand this off to Cari from the past or the future. Where are you, girl? I'm right here. Calm down. I would like to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video once again. Thank you to Squarespace. Like I said, I've been using Squarespace for years. I highly recommend them as we are entering this new year, new you, new website perhaps. So all that information will be in the description box, but you can use my code CariCanRead. Go to squarespace.com/CariCanRead and you can get 10% off of your first website or domain. Thank you to Squarespace, and I will see you guys later. I actually, in between reading this book and now, I read another book that I think had it been a fanfic, I would have let a lot of things slide. There were gaping plot holes, and I'm very upset about it, but I have no qualms about the plot holes in this book. So yeah, I come out of this video a changed woman, and I thank you so much for joining me. Don't put any recommendations in the comment section. This is not gonna be a thing. I can't do this, guys. But I will see you guys next time. Okay, thank you always, and see you then.